What we've been doing, and it's really interesting, people are arguing, people are clashing, people are also starting to agree. And there's a meeting that's happening every week, and we meet in Kevin McCarthy's office, and it's called the Five Families.
There you have a Republican Congresswoman, Marjorie Greene, comparing herself and the Republican Party to mobs and mafias. Great. Now, if you're wondering what the five families are, I'd love to tell you. Historically, organized crime in most US cities has been controlled by a single criminal organization or single criminal organizations. But in New York City, several prominent organizations have shared territory. They are known as the Five Families. These families constitute an important segment of organized crime in America. The nationwide alliance is collectively referred to as La Cosa Nostra, or our affair, or our thing, or the Mafia. So, I mean, I think Marjorie Greene is very likely a criminal, but let's hear more from her, because it looks like even Steve Bannon, of all people, doesn't think this is the best idea.
The Five Families, and you know my reference.
Yes.
The Five Families are parts of our conference, all the different parts. And we are coming together and having discussions on how we're going to govern in the majority. And it's literally my favorite meeting.
I hope that those meetings turn out better than the Five Families meetings in The Godfather. Okay, they went to war.
Yeah, they went to war. You know, John and I once had this debate about who the dumbest member of Congress is. And I mean, that's a difficult competition, Ray, but I really do think that Marjorie Greene is probably the top competitor in that race.
Oh yeah, and I mean, she has stiff competition. Lauren Boebert is still there, by the skin of her teeth. He got reelected, and you've got Matt Gaetz, but they're definitely duking it out for the dumbest person in Congress. I will say I love the way conservatives latch on to the bad guy in movies and identify with those characters. Like, you see a lot of conservatives who watch American Psycho and they're like, I love Patrick Bateman. That is someone I want to make my entire identity about. I'll change my profile picture to him. It's just so, how did you so deeply misunderstand these stories? Or like, The Boys is really popular right now. A lot of conservatives have Homelander as their profile picture. And if you're watching The Boys and you think Homelander is the good guy, we've been watching two different shows. But I mean, it's the same way with like the mob movies. They are cautionary tales about how the mob destroyed these people's lives, almost all of which end with the main person dying or being imprisoned. And I do think that, all of the Republican Party should probably be behind bars. But it's just so silly to me the way that they attach themselves to the bad guys, to these characters that you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to put on a pedestal. And there's just no irony, no self-awareness.
Right. I mean, this isn't, identifying with Tony Soprano, who was, a bad guy, but also kind of likable in some ways. Cenk, I know that was one of your favorite shows. It's one of my favorite shows. But what do you think about all this? I mean, it's just they keep admitting to being the bad guys, and then when anyone on the left calls them out on it, they deny that they're the bad guys or that they love the bad guys. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so I have a question about all this in a second, but first, Steve Bannon lately has been looking like, how did I get stuck here in between all these idiots, right? With him,
well, you look like you're on a bender, so maybe start with that.
Yeah. And Marjorie Taylor Greene sounds like she's on one. What was going on with her voice?
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, but Bannon's face the whole time was like, oh no, don't. And he tried to go to break a couple of times. He's like, please stop talking. And yesterday he was like, Trump, what are you doing? What are you doing with the trading cards? Yeah, Steve, this is the bed you chose. Go ahead and lie in it. And he's a terrible guy. He's just not as dumb as the others. He's just smarter about being terrible. Anyways, in terms of the meetings, yeah, the Republicans have internal meetings. I don't care about that at all. Now, in terms of them identifying with the bad guys, Ray Vaughn is 100% right. Remember when they were comparing Donald Trump to Thanos? and like it was a positive thing. I'm like, do you know Thanos is not only the bad guy, but he kills half of all living creatures in the universe? And they're like, yeah. And I've always wondered watching these movies, like it's so clear who the good guys and bad guys are. Hey, I wonder if anybody ever roots for the bad guys. It turns out a third of the country roots for the bad guys. So they watch the same movies as us and they're like, attaboy, Darth Vader. Oh, damn it, he turned on the Sith Lord. It's amazing to me. It's amazing. And the most spectacular example, this isn't less stark than Thanos or Darth Vader, but Wall Street was, just like Ray said, was supposed to be a cautionary tale. But then it became like the movie that and I interviewed Oliver Stone about this, and he's like, I was shocked when all of these people were like, Gordon Gekko's awesome and Greed is great. He's like, no, that was supposed to be an ironic speech. Greed's not actually good. And the right wing instantly was like, yes, finally somebody's saying something we like. Greed is good. And it became their anthem for a couple of decades. And then in the five families of The Godfather, they all killed each other. I mean, going in, they're like, oh, you want to name us after a bunch of people who murder each other? Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I mean, all of a sudden we're having a conversation.
Politically.
Politically,
yes.
Politically.
And then, but finally, guys, here's my question. What do they disagree on? They all want tax cuts for the rich. They all hate minorities and gay people. What's the big discussion and the disagreement for 5 different factions of Republicans? 5? I can barely see 1.5. And the half, like Kinzinger and Cheney, just lost. So they're down to one family. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.